just a poor boy from Liverpool. I'm just a poor boy from Liverpool.
Good evening, everyone. Just to say that why I've been missing, for people who don't know, there are a couple of people who know, and I'm going to thank them personally by naming them. But anyway, for the people who don't know, seriously ill. Seriously ill. Anyway, if anybody remembers the last time I was on, I finished early, didn't I? When I said, listen, I've got to go. I've got to go. And I just closed the show and I left. Anyway, little Lindsay Ellis, little Donna, Toscana, the old mate Steve Mulholland, and my other old mate Paul Burke knew that something was up, because I'm not like that. I just don't disappear. And I'm not going to go into detail of what happened to me, but it was serious. Something was attacking all my vital organs, and it wasn't Evertonians, you know. But anyway, you know, that's it. I'm okay. I'm not okay, but I'm on very strong medication, which I take, you know, every single day and night. So anyway, I'm back. But I won't be doing loads of, I'm just made up. Football's over. I'm made up. Absolutely delighted. And, you know, we've all had a dreadful season. Every red, me included, my daughter, my grandsons, and my little granddaughter, Sophie. She was so upset. But it's the way it is. It's upsetting. You know, if my granddaughter, who's 14 in a couple of weeks, is upset, how many other kids are upset by this dope? And what got me at the end of the game, because I couldn't do a watch along, I was too ill. And what I couldn't get over was Slot. There's something seriously wrong. He sat there. Have you noticed why he didn't give a speech about Robertson and Mo? Why? Were they afraid that they'd open their mouths? Which they would have done, in my opinion. Because Robertson, he's like the heartbeat of Liverpool, and has been since he's been here. You know, we gave him an opportunity from Hull, who were relegated, and he never ever forgot that, and he'll never forget it either. And look what he won with Liverpool. Everything. Robertson. And now he's being kicked out. Mo Salah. You can't say too much about him. That's negative. You can't. Mo Salah, one of the greatest right wingers in the history of Liverpool Football Club. You've only got to see his assist, his record assists. You've only got to see his goals as a winger. Who else has done that? Let me know. Let me know. Anyway, and Slot sat there. And why didn't he get up to our fans? I've told everybody, and I've been telling them since this fella arrived. He hasn't embraced the city because he lives in Manchester. He's never embraced you or me or these lads behind. Lads and girls, that is. He's never embraced us. He hasn't a clue. Goes to the Axis. Drives off from Manchester to the Axis. Finishes, goes back to Manchester. That's what kind of a fella he is. Then you've got Richard Hughes, who brought him in. He lives in Bournemouth. That's why what do they used to call him? The Invisible Man, because no one said it. Do you ever remember at the beginning of the season? And I said, I've never seen the Invisible Man. He never makes an appearance. Little did I know that he was still living down in Bournemouth. As a director of football and a head coach who don't live in the city, think about that. They don't give a fuck, I'm sorry to swear, but they don't give a fuck about Liverpool. I'm telling you now. They don't. Slot doesn't. If Slot has any respect, he would have got up last Sunday, got the mic, like he did when he was Feyenoord manager, right in the middle of the pitch, all with shiny head, mic in the hands and saying, I'm leaving, while there was games to go, to join Liverpool Football Club. Why didn't he get up on Sunday, take the mic in the middle of the pitch? Didn't have to go to the Cop or the Annie Road or anywhere. He only had to stand in the middle and just walk around like that, around the centre circle, apologise for the crap he's given us all season. Why didn't he do that? Maybe, just maybe, people would have said, at least he's admitting it. But he isn't. He isn't. Can I tell you something funny? I had a paramedic. She saved my life, actually. When she came, I started laughing, and she brought me up the Aussie right away. She said, I'm taking you to the hospital. Anyway, and I went like that. She went, where's your tooth? I said, I ate it. She just looked at me. I said, no, it came out. Came out biting a Kit Kat. So beware of Kit Kats. Let's see what you've been saying anyway. It's good to see you, by the way. It really is. But a big special thank you to those people who got in touch with me. I don't know where I am. Oh, here I am here. Sorry. Here I am. Right. Edward. Hiya, Edward. It's good that you're back. YouTube wasn't the same. Oh yeah. And I'd say, welcome back, Frank. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tay. Thank you, mate. And Dennis, hi all. Off to the airport in a few hours. Next stop, Gatwick. Then a hop across London tomorrow morning to Heathrow. Then on to Manchester. You know what for, don't you? And a train to Liverpool. Ah, that's cool. That really is cool. Because he's a good lad. He's a good lad, as we know. Is Al Dennis. And he's actually coming to see me when he gets here. Because there's no way I can go down the cabin, unfortunately. And the T says, like, share, and subscribe, Reds. Thank you, T. Thank you so much. We've all been in the doldrums. I'm not saying like being ill or anything, but we've all been in the doldrums through the season. And let's hope that a little bit of sunshine hits us, if you know what I mean, to get rid of the horrible things. Hi, Dennis. Safe travels to tea to Dennis Kapaparak. Daryl, Legends is back. Take it easy, Franco. Yeah, Daryl, he rang me up as soon as he heard about me. And Daryl says, for fuck's sake, Etienne Reyners joins Liverpool. It's going to be next season. It's going to be hell next season. Thing is, you see, how long has he held his badge? He's new to the game. We've got him coach who's new to the game. He's never held a big club. And he still has no idea. He's totally out of his depth. And now we're getting a coach who's just acquired his badge. You can't make these up. As I said a while back, it's like a conspiracy theory to bring down one of the top clubs in the world. Not just Europe, the world. That's what it's like. It's a brilliant script, isn't it? Brilliant script. And Daryl says it's going to be hell next season. It is. It bloody is. It's going to be worse, actually. Worse than what we, are saying and what we think. That's how it's going to be worse. But I'm just waiting for the review, because if someone, the likes of I don't trust Hughes or Edwards, I don't trust them. I don't trust them, and they could give John Henry, who hasn't a clue about football, false information, saying how good it was. And that's another thing. Why didn't John Henry come over? Why didn't he come over to say, thank you, Mo? Hey, thank you, Robbo. Why didn't he come over and say that? And the plaques they got, why didn't he hand them over? I've been looking at pods, and it's all this speculation again, isn't it, about players? We need players. I've never heard one comment, one podcaster saying, why did he break up a championship winning side? And I was reading something today about Diaz. He said he loved Liverpool, but he just wanted some more money. Well, I said that ages and ages ago. All he wanted was a few bob more. He said, what could you do? You get offered a much higher wage, So it went. Well, if you look at it closely, why he went, the likes of Slot, and Hughes and Edwards, don't leave him out of the equation, had these players in mind. So that was the breakup. Then they got rid of young lads. Good lads, good. I used to watch them, saying, "Oh, he's good. He'll be good for us. He'll be gone, gone." And it was to buy these players that we got in the summer, on the premise that we will dominate. Big failure. Even people were saying, weren't they? I was looking at Mark Goldridge, and he said Liverpool are going to dominate. Look at the players they've just bought. They've just won the league. That Alistair said the same. And it was a massive failure. But I said at the time, you know me, you follow me. I said we should never have got rid of Diaz, nor Darwin Núñez, because they were the two main pressers. Who's going to press? Well, we found out. No one. We're not a pressing side. We give up. And especially with the training. The training's absolutely ridiculous. Sad. Sure is, Darryl, after this season, can't be bothered going through the same crap again. I don't think I will. It is, Franco. It's a lot of pain for us. Lovely Toscana. Good to see you, Franco. Thank you, Toscana. Thanks for your lovely message, by the way. Thank you. Well, messages. Darryl says, I'll be coming here, but I'm watching no part of the slot, yeah. Look, we're all Reds. And being a Red, you'll follow Liverpool, even if we are awful. Because you're a Red. Sounds horrendous, Frank. Thank goodness you're recovering. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to go on holiday on Friday. I was going. I was so excited. And I asked, when did I ask? I forget when I asked. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Is it Wednesday? Anyway, I asked my doctor. Oh, yeah, I asked my doctor yesterday. I said, listen, would I be able to go away, get a prescription, to last me? Just looked at me and said, are you kidding? I strongly advise you from not going away. That was it. Can't go away. So Francine and Sophia are, they're going. They're made up. What I say to Franco and all you Reds says, Bella. Hiya, Bella. Jane O'Keefe. Hello, Frank. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you. I'm feeling from this time last week. This time last week, I think he was a shouting, Frank, stop it. The polo. Hi, Frank. Sorry I'm late. It's all right. Excuse me. And Paul, to be fair to Coco Slot, he was going to be wrong, whatever he did. The owners need to put him and us out of it. Yeah, because he's a little creature, isn't he? And creatures who are struggling and can't do anything and have to be put out of the misery. So you're right, I like that little analogy there. And Toscana, Slot just sat there and watched. He knew he'd get booed. Yes. Our lovely little Bella. Sorry to hear that you were not well, Franco. Glad to see you back tonight. Thank you. Good evening, Frank, Reds and chatters. Buonasera, Bella, says the lovely live a bit. Are you live, eh? Does anyone miss me? Slot looks detached, haughty. Can't get away quicker, says the poll. Is right. Is right. You've got to take everything into consideration now. It's not over yet, you know, if you know what I mean. It's not over yet. Even if Frank, good to see you, says little Linda. Thank you, Linda, and thanks for your messages. Your phone call. Thank you. I noticed you didn't want to be there on Sunday. Now, do you see him? His attitude is woeful. You know, just standing on the pitch, you know, posing. I've never known anything so toxic as a Liverpool Football Club right now. We had the Northern Irish fella where people wanted out. I wanted them out after the 6-1 defeat. And when I was on LFC TV that time, it was me, Jimmy Case, Simon Rimmer, and Ian Prowse. And it was that Mark Benstead. Anyway, he said, are we going to win the league? And we were playing Chelsea at the weekend because it was a recorded show. Jimmy, yeah, we're going to win the league. Simon Rimmer, yeah, we're going to win the league. Prowse, yeah, we're going to win the league. And I said, no, Rodgers will mess it up. And he went, 3-1 then. So when we finished recording, he said, why do you think Liverpool? I said, who are you? Where are you from? You're not a Scouser. Do you support Liverpool? Have you just applied for a job? Smart ass. And I was vindicated. I was vindicated, wasn't I? That's why I don't bother about. That's why I don't bother about looking at these. I'm sorry, I think I've lost you all. Ah, yeah, got you back. the pundits, the only people that follow is Fozzie, because Fozzie's I like Fozzie, he's a good lad. And Jamie Phillips. He says it as it is, Jamie. And Toscana says, I've never felt so fed up with LFC. If they don't get rid of Slot, next season is going to be a nightmare. Well, if they're not going to get rid of him, they're bringing in this SEN fella. And he's only got his license. He's an apprentice. Imagine an apprentice going to Buckingham Palace. No, that's 10 Downing Street. And the boss says, all right, fix all the lights. They've all gone out. To an apprentice. A fella who's been trying to do a job for 2 months. That's what it's like. And he's coming to Liverpool. Supposedly. Keep cool, mate, says my old friend Paul Keenan. Thank you, Paul. Jane O'Keefe says it was so weird. Slot just sat there. No connection with the fans. Can't wait for them to F off. Why not? Say it as it is. He won't apologise. No, of course he won't. He'll never apologise then. He's called us out, hasn't he? He's called us out on a few occasions. So why would he apologise? We're scumbags to him. He doesn't like Liverpool. He doesn't like the city. If you like the city and you want to embrace the fans, you go and live in the city because he's on his own. And he's always flitting over to Amsterdam or Ibiza to his place where he is now. Do you think he's bothered about us? Do you think he's bothered about next season if he's staying? He's a phony, hypocrite. He's too young to do that. Ones who Hughes and Edwards, I wonder what Hughes and Edwards have on him. They've got nothing on him. He's Hughes' mate. That's how he got the job. Think about that, people. He got that job because of Hughes. Paul Owie. To FSG, Hughes, Edwards and Coco Slot, LFC is to be fleeced and none of them are football people like the great owners and managers of yesterday year. No. Polo. I've missed you, Frank. Thanks very much. Thanks, Polo. So what do you think? Do you think he's going to stay? Do you think there's another little wonderful foible, shall I say, that's going to happen? Another little that'll come out and go. See, look, I don't take any notice, as I said to pundits, especially, the likes of Paul Gorst and those fellas, Doyle. They're always given the narrative. They don't call them out. I was looking at, I always forget, Cop Talk, is it? And I know the lads have actually been on their show. And I know Alex and not so much Doyley. And all as he was saying was unacceptable. This is terrible. Something has to be done. Then we get a decent result of somewhere, and then he changes his mind again. But this season, and he not once called him out. At the end of his thing, I was looking at him after the match. You know, when they record the little pod outside the ground, just shook my head and I went, so not having you, mate. Good to see you again, Frank, says Paul. Thank you, Paul. Stevie. Let's go, champ. It's the master of the wood. Good evening, Frank. Apparently, there are some emails saying the Eggman has been sacked. Look it up. Maybe I'm going. Maybe him going to his grief hole in a bit. Yeah, he's definitely there. That's what I've been trying to say. It's not all over yet. It's like what you just said. Emails and whatever. Look, let's say he has been sacked. And see, I said before that FSG having a clue, sorry about this, having a clue about football. But what they do have a clue about is finances. So one of them in that little circle they've got said, how come we spent nearly £500 million, English pounds, on players to set Liverpool on a run 5 years long? Why do we have to buy again? Did they buy the wrong players? Did they have the wrong coaching and the wrong backroom staff? Because if this doesn't stop, Liverpool were very, very lucky. And, you know, they'll get the stats and everything. They were in a false position to get in there. And if you want to try his hand again for another season, you'll never get Champions League and the revenue, nor the sponsorship. Someone who's got a little bit of nous about them, business nous, will be telling them that. So you don't have to know about your football. It's like running the stock market. You look and sound good, Frank, says Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. And the poll, I call on all LFC fans to email John Henry, Werner, Billy Hogan to dismiss this lot regime. Absolutely, because you look at that petition, but you have pundits that, you know, these people who, they're on freebies, aren't they? That's the only thing. I'm not mentioning who they are, but they're getting things to go along with the narrative. And they're saying, oh, no, anyone can sign that. I'm not going to say who it was, but I thought, you fool. You fool. He said, trolls get onto this, you know. Trolls could be just signing it. And I thought, trolls, Well, I think Trolls was once slot to stay, not to go. That's how bloody thick they are. And I thought, oh, I've had enough of this lot. This is why I give you your opportunity to talk. Just to talk. What's your opinion? I'll read it out. Discuss it. But I'm glad that you said the regime, because that's what it is, a regime, a failed regime. About Heitinger, remember when he went and he said, can we get Heitinger back? Can we get Heitinger back? Heitinger had been sacked. He left Liverpool to go to Ajax. Never lasted long till he got the sack. He was crap. Same football. Want to say that Toscana says the lovely Liver, little Lynn. Can you use cap letter to help Frank? Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Hiya, Frank. Hope you're well, mate. Says the Vader, King Vader. Don't argue with King Vader. Never. Because he'll get any slot on you. Fucking hell. I don't want to bend forward because I think my head's a fall. David Gould. Good to see you back, Frank. I just need to see the back of slot now. I feel like we've lost our... That's a great point, that, because a lot of people are saying the same thing. A lot of people. Lee Brady. Hello, Frank, how's you? Thank God the season's ended. Let us breathe for a bit. Yeah, that's it. Calm down. I wish I would have been going away on Friday. I would have been made up in Lido. Lido di Eslo. Beautiful place. So relaxing, so flat. Made up with that. And the doctor said, are you serious? Certainly not. For me to go away. I just hope Francine enjoys it, and especially my little granddaughter. And Paul says, oh, Paul is good. Yeah, you nearly lost me, Paul. I nearly lost me, mate. Only for a paramedic, young girl as well. Rushed me to Aussie. And if they wouldn't have acted so quickly, as the consultant said, I would have been dead. And not make it to the Aussie. I'm your old mate, Jeff Ellis. Looking well, Frank. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, mate. I hope all the little Ellisons are okay as well. But not little Ellisons, they're all big Ellisons, aren't they? The Liver Birds. Etienne Rainers and Slot, a recipe for disaster. No clue about the Prem. As I said, Liver, he hasn't had his badge long. He's a newbie and plays touch football. Oh. Paul, I sadly sat through FSG Mouthpiece, Redmen TV, Anfield Rap, bunch of gatekeepers. I wouldn't look. I'm not. I wouldn't. Honest to God, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even look at them because they make you sick, and you know that they're on freebies. You get other podcasters who are, dead genuine Liverpool supporters. But how many can you watch? And Solo PI. Hello, Frank, you legends. I Solo. Hope you're well. Thank you. The old mate Lee Brady, MI6, this fella. Slot is for not getting on the mic and apologising to the fans. Yeah, I said that. Yet another thing that adds to no connection to the fans. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. And no care in the world. Henry, the same, no connection. Couldn't even be bothered to show respect to two legends. Leaving yet again, no care. Legends leaving yet again, no care. No. All about money. Obsessed freak. I met him tonight when it was me and Ian St. John. And I went up to the Saint. I was having a drink, and there was only one other person in this bar. It was a long bar, And we were at the end. There's one fella up at the top. He's just been on that LFC TV thing. And the Saint went. He said, look who's just come in. I was, he said, John Henry. I went, go away. And it turns out it was him. I'm not Verne. And we just got beat by, who was it? Tottenham. When Bale scored a cracker. Got beat 2-0 at home. And I said, put me under. It's like picking up a cod. A wet cod. Shaking hands with that man. And I said to him, we need place. Everything's in hand. That's what he said. Everything's in hand. That's the way he speaks. He said, there's a legend over there. And he's there. I said, about the Saint. And as I was pointing at the Saint thought I was calling him over. And he came over. And he said, and who are you? I said, I've just told you. It's a legend. And I made this thing up. I said, I was watching a documentary about Borneo. And right in the middle of the jungle, I said, there's a few villages, about 4 villages. And you see a kid running down the street with Ian Rush on his back. An old Liverpool shirt. And he went, who's he? And it was shocking. Then that Werner shouted at him, stage ready, Jan. I said, oh, it's a rad, Jan. And that's the way it is, people. And Stevie, Frank, Slot Hughes Edwards been sacked yet? Just have to wait for it, to be honest. Edwards wasn't there Sunday as well. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. And Barry, Frank, you're back. We've missed you. Didn't know you were on until half an hour ago. Thanks, Barry. And the liver bears to the master, the wood master. I'm fed up of the rumour mill. I will only believe it when I see footage of Baldy leaving the building forever. But he wouldn't need to pack, was he? You know, that's it, he's already packed. Because as I said, he lives in Manchester, so he's got gear there. He's got gear in Holland, wherever he lives in Holland, and he's got loads of gear in Ibiza, because he's never out of there. Lee Brazy, yes. Paul Keane is spot on, eh? There you go. And Paulo says the Newcastle League Cup was the warning. Yes. Yes. My daughter Francis said the same, actually. And Stevie says, Frank, cheap broke FSG have got their propaganda list, journalists printing articles to say only the fans on social media are making the slot out noise. Local fans are happy with slot. He said, yeah. That's why I take no notice of them. I do other things, as you know, and the Western press is terrible. I was looking at it today. Not reading it. I won't read the Western press. I will not watch BBC or anything like that. Will not watch it. But all the propaganda and everything, they've been doing it for years. And it's the same as this. They follow a pattern. They follow a narrative. I know a fella who more or less sold his soul to them. This fella hated them. Both events. We'll do that for you if you... okay, then. Can't tell you what it is. Can't even tell you what he was doing as well. Because you'll just go, I know who that is. Can't let you, honestly, I can't let you know that. Albeit, I know him well. Just so you can be bought, and people are bought. He was bought to stay away from any social media or groups or anything. You were missed, says Toscana. Thank you. Thank you, Toscana. I was thinking of you, myself. And Paul Owie to the Polo. That EFL was the start. That's over 15 months ago. It's been dire, turgid crap ever since. The Anfield Road. Even if Frankie and the Mighty Reds chatters and all them Scotches are for me. And me alone. He reckons that slot will be gone. Any of you? And Lee Brady, the new Robertson Moral before the game, Frank, was all visited it, yeah. It is. It's brilliant, isn't it? Only pictures. I've only seen pictures and footage of it. He must be very proud, mustn't he? You know, to have a mural dedicated to him. Then went to Jota's mural, thinking a year ago he was with us, lifting that Premier League. Now here's a picture, picture on the wall, so sad. Was looking at the messages I put on the bricks for me. I was just going to mention that, what you did for me. Because I was ill, wasn't I? I couldn't walk or anything. And you put our names on the bricks. Mine and my daughter Francine's. Thank you so much, Lee Brady. Thank you, mate. Little cop-out. The only positive thing I'm clinging onto is that the new assistant manager hasn't signed yet. So maybe it's on hold because Slot could be getting sacked. He might be in a beta with him. And hope you're well, Frankie, lad. Recovering. I'll be doing. I think you'd like this. I'm not going to say what it is, though. I know people like the Titanic when I did the conspiracy theory. So on Friday, if anyone wants to join me, I'm going to do something. And it's brilliant. See, don't forget conspiracy theories, as they say. That's an American terminology. And it was a CIA fella. And it was about the assassination at the time of JFK. And he came out to hush things down. And he said, these are conspiracies. Conspiracists. And their theories are wrong. So, you know, anyone who disagrees with any sort of governmental cover-up, know what I mean? So we're all conspiracy theories if you go against a government narrative. Stevie says, Frank, where is the backlash from local fans on Henry Werner Edwards not attending the game to say goodbye to our club legends? Need local fans to sort the FSG out protest. Well, I was with the protest to get X and Gillette out on the steps of St. George's Hall. And I tell you what, I think I'd crawl to St. George's Hall steps to get this lot out. Never liked them. Never. The old Klopp back. And look what he could have done for us. Klopp. Think about it. If he would have been given the money, I'll be on. And Carl, it's Tuesday, Frank. Yeah, I didn't know what day it was. Because, you know, I think it's the drugs. I don't know. I thought it was Sunday yesterday. As you do. Bank holidays. And everything happens to me on a bank holiday. And Natasha Olive. Hey, Natasha. Slot has to go. See how gentle, but to the point. To the heart of it. Little comment like that. Slot has to go. Yes. Yes. Yes, Natasha. And Toscana. With a decent manager, we could have been champion, of course. I don't think Arsenal were anything special. And even Man City slipped up, yes. But we're in the Champions League, as you know, by default. By default. It was just around us who were losing games, and we were lucky, getting results. Remember the Spurs game, and they had a makeshift side, and we scraped a draw. You can't make these things up. And the last game of the season, shock. Ended up drawing. The Carl says, "Up your ass, sound Frank. Thank you. I'm getting there. I'll be getting better and better each day. Put it that way. Thank you, Phil. You're a good man. Ciao, Bella and chatters. Hope you're all well," says the lovely Toscan. I keep forgetting to use caps, says Lee Brady. No, you don't, because you write essays, and those all won't fit on what you write. And lovely Natasha, she says, "Hiya, Frank. How are you? What part of Liverpool are you from?" My dad is from Liverpool. That's great, a Scouser, so you've got a dad who's a Scouser, which is nice. I come from more or less the city centre. I was born right in. Well, there's a beautiful building called St. George's Hall, and then there's more beautiful buildings facing that, or to the side of it. One's called the Sessions House, one's called the Walker Gallery, one's called the Library, and it just carries on like that. And I was born right behind them. A place called Jerry Gardens and Jerry Crescent. Great community. Lovely people. And that's where I was born, Natasha. Thanks for asking. Jerry Gardens is gone now, unfortunately. But at least, if there's anyone from the gardens there, you've got mentioned. Lovely. Yeah, feels. Did they put that suit in for you for an extra $5? See, I was going to phone up this fella, and fella who worked on my team before, and I'm going to have a words with him. Might have a words with him tomorrow. I don't know, but as I said, I've been in hospital, haven't I? I've been really ill, so I never had time. Because as you know, it would have cost me $2,000 to get me tooth back in. It's mad, isn't it? How can a bill run up to £2,000 for a bloody tooth? I'll sue Nestle. Could go to Turkey and get a full set of teeth for a bit more. Me, Bobby Firmino, and Jurgen Klopp. Be good, wouldn't it? And Stevie says, "Frank, all All fans in the EPL need to unite under one banner, one movement, and get these Zionist genocide supporting sponsors out of our club. No one, Stevie, I was, Stevie, how can I say this? There's lots of fans, especially the ones who say, I was doing it the Liverpool way, which is a load of bollocks. Because I've said, what's the Liverpool way? Tell me, what is the Liverpool way? Explain. Explain the Liverpool way. I've heard of it. I've heard of it. I've heard of Machu Picchu. Seen pictures of it, seen footage of it, but I haven't a clue what it's all about until you go. So what is the Liverpool way? Just tell me. Is it that fans go and say, we support the Reds, and other fans say, well, I want the manager out, so you turn on that person, do it the Liverpool way, get behind the manager. Yeah, we'll get behind your brother-in-law who bounced your sister around all over the place for 6 years, giving her black eyes and putting her in hospital. Get behind him and say, he's all right. He had no answer to that. But as I said, they haven't a clue with the name on the shirt. And I'm not talking about Mo Salah's name, Robertson's name, Van Dijk's name. None of them. I'm talking about what's right across the sponsors. Having a clue. And I told them, and I'm going back last year. They haven't a clue. And he said, remember when they said we don't want any oil money? Well, we don't want any oil money. Little did they know they get loads of oil money. See, they're invested in. Not just Boston Red Sox and Liverpool FC and other these little sporting franchises that they own. Basketball, netball, or whatever it's called. Nah. The Anfield Road. What are saying that? And Natasha says, my dad grew up in Huyton. Huyton, yeah, that's where Steven Gerrard came. One of our greatest players. Natasha. Huyton. Thanks for letting us know. She's still alive. I don't know where you're from, you see. You're from, where he went. And when he left Liverpool, he must have left Liverpool, mustn't he? Stevie said, Slot didn't celebrate our goal. Why? Did you notice now that it's Jones? Curtis Jones. I'd love to have a words with Curtis, but I don't know the lad. I'd love to have a words with him. Because he knows something's up, doesn't he? He knows there's something up. Sure, there's something wrong with me. I'll have to undo this. Sorry, minute. So Michelle, personally, Jones has a lot to say as well. to tell us, not to say, to tell us, just like Mo. Robbo has as well. Because he said things need to change, didn't he? They were afraid that, honestly, that they would say something. That's why. But someone says, he might have been afraid of getting booed. Yeah, you're right. Maybe the fans were waiting for him to come and give a little address. They got fooled. But they didn't want to spoil Mo's or Robertson's day. It was their day. And I'll tell you another thing which surprised me very much. When Henderson, was playing, he was great, Henderson, that day. Why didn't he get a plaque? Why didn't he present him with a plaque or what he did for Liverpool, captaining Liverpool? Holding aloft everything that a football club could win. You know what I mean? Everything that a football club could win, he holds up the trophy. So does he deserve a plaque on the pitch? Yes. Something seriously wrong though at Anfield. There is. There's no getting away from it. And Barry to the T, yeah, had nothing to do with him absent. And the master, best on YouTube, right here, like and subscribe, it costs nothing. Thank you, master. Thank you. And Edward says, I was worried, Frank. So was I. Don't ever go, honestly, I wish I don't want anybody to go what I've been through. All your organs being attacked. Got to look at ourselves. Look after ourselves, I mean. Thanks, Edward, for that. Good evening, my old pal. I hope you're good. Thank you, Mr. B. I'm good. I'm really good. Good seeing him, he's all back. And Paul Owie to Stevie. To be fair, Jones hardly ever scores and he barely raised a smile. Well, because, Paul, I said there's something strange. I thought at the time, just sitting on my own, watching the game, and I thought, is he offside? Did he see it offside flag? Because we don't see them watching on the telly. Because it's on this side, isn't it? They're the linesman. The linesman's out of focus, if you know what I mean. On the right wing, looking on the telly. Kicking into the cup. And I thought he was offside. I thought the referee raised. It wasn't. He just didn't want to know. So you look at that. Why didn't he want to know? It's not he didn't want to know about Liverpool. It's just what's going on at the club and who's running the club. Why did he want to sell him? With a year to go on his contract. They need money. They need dosh to bring in new players. But we've been linked with players that are going to in the 100 million bracket again. We're not going to spend that kind of money again. No way. And this is what I mean about these business people in Boston. They're going, hang on, we're going to throw good money after bad again. No chance. Something has to change. See, the point is as well, they sacked their coach. John Henry sacked their coach because the fans were saying he was useless. You know, the baseball coach, that is. Boston Red Sox. So they got shut up. And it's all because, all right, you know, he's a big baseball fan. Maybe we can get someone in. You know, we get up the World Series or whatever they call them. Again. And it's like us. We've only got to drop out of the top 4, top 5, whatever it is next season. And we're finished. Why do you think John Henry put us forward when we were, not we, when he put Liverpool in for the European Champions League table? Not a European champ, European League. Remember? And that was all big money spent. Spin the money around. And he wanted, you know, with the European League, that American owners would be playing European sides over there. In America. Not just in Boston, but everywhere. Good to have the voice and king of Liverpool pods. Says the law. Thanks, Law. Mr. B. Hello, fellow Reds. Yes. I like that. Fellow Reds, we're all Reds. We're all Reds. People are saying about, you know, this Bowen lad. You know, he's all right. The way it is. But we're Liverpool Football Club. He's 30. We're going after a West Ham player. But what's that telling you? What is that telling you? Telling you that we don't want to spend. Big money. And Stevie says, Frank, need Redbird Capital to put pressure on FSG to sack Edwards, Hughes, Slot. They cleaned house at AC Milan. They sacked a lot of them. Did they? Redbird Capital. Didn't know that. And Mr. B, unfair law, spot on. And stay Mulholland. According to War on Want, Liverpool FC topped the league for complicity in, I know that. We know that Stevie knows as well. In Israel, genocide in Gaza, Standard Charter gave the Israel regime over £15 billion. This is what I mean, you know, I'm not saying some people are thick. Really, I'm not. Please excuse that. But some people just don't know. They just don't know. I remember I've always wanted FSG out. And do you ever remember, like a couple of years ago, where's the FSG haters now? You know, after winning the league or the Champions League. Do you ever remember that? Where's the FSG haters now? They're the tickers. They are the tickos. Because they haven't a clue. Yet the people who wanted them, I'm not saying the majority of people, of FSG outers. I'm not saying that. But a lot of them knew what was involved with FSG and what they were involved in. And our sponsors. I've always said, just look at the sponsors. Look who sponsored us. Look at them. And I don't mean Nike or whoever. Adidas. Don't have them. I'm talking about Standard Chartered. Good show, Stephen. The Anfield to Mr. B. Stevie to Paulo. It don't matter who scored for LFC. Every goal should be celebrated by all. And Lindsay, I see 5 players are leaving. Could be more, to be honest, Lynn. Lauren Bianchi. Hey, Lauren. Hope you're well. And the C says, 65 in the house. Smash the likes, please. I'm going to go right down because I'll have to get up to date with you. And Steve to Steve Mulholland. Facts. Where is the fans' backlash? This against Stephen. I'm telling you now, they don't fucking know. They know nothing. I'll have to go right down. I want to keep up with you. Phil, hello, Frank and Chatter. Sorry to hear you've been unwell. Been watching for 20 minutes, but couldn't sign on as I was scoffing a lot of chicken fried rice. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Phil. And Stevie, I've always said it, Stevie. I said, watch him on the touchline. Never got a badge on. Stands there with his hands in his pocket. And remember the Galatasaray game when he was doing that, very animated? I said he's been told to do that by someone. Show some animation. Show some enthusiasm. That was the only time he ever did it. He's a phony. He's a hypocrite. He's clueless. He's emotionless. He's not a motivator. He's not a motivator. You could imagine if he's got a dog and his wife said, take the dog out for a walk, the nightly walk, and he go, come on, dog, come on, Cruyff. Might have called the dog Cruyff. Come on, Cruyffy, let's go for a walk. And you can imagine the dog, lying there, just going in dog language. He won't come with me. Couldn't motivate a fucking... But you're right, Stevie, wears nothing. No emblems, nothing. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Mr. Bays. As anyone see him Sunday slumped in his chair while Robbo and Mo lapped the fans. Yeah, up. The guy is a bell end. Note to fans. Slot earns 6 million. Yes. Gravenberch 14 mil. Let that sink in. I know. Gravenberch. Well, you know me. I've called him for everything. That lad. Is he worth 14 million a year? 280. 280 a week. What's going to happen now, Frank? They says we won't have a big summer again like last summer. And we need players. We left ourselves short of players. Yes, yes, we had injuries, but looking at the bench most of the season, it looked so weak and poor. But there was no injuries in the back line, you know. There was no injuries in midfield. And when you look at the injuries, what it was dare I say, the front line, Berisha and Ekiti. Yeah, it looks weak and poor, the bench. So now, where do we get the money from if we're to sell to buy club with such a small squad? We get rid of our best players. We get rid of them. They get money for Ibu if he decided to go. We get money for him. We get money for Jones, obviously. We'd even get money for Ali. I'm not saying that Ali wants to go. I know his wife is Italian, and she'd be made up to go back home. The door to Paul Owen. He has been great. That idiot in the dugout starts macking ahead of him. Also, Rio and Mo off while Mr. Anonymous fucking Gapco stays on. It's all wrong, mate. That's it, isn't it? Did you see what he mentions about? Remember when Gapco, they were booing him and they thought they were booing Gapco. And he said, maybe if the fans start cheering, Cozy might have scored a winner. I thought, yeah. Yeah, okay. Annie. The little cop-out. Slaughter's ruined everything Klopp built in 2 years. I'm still fuming. He's still here. Cop-out, honestly. He's been, yeah. But we can't afford another year. Eh? I'd like to know, all right, you know, like other poddies, you want to hear Jamie Phillips. Brilliant. The Foz. Brilliant. I might be on a show on Friday afternoon, actually. Got hold of me to say how I was. Come on, Frank. I said, okay. You know, he had to phone me up as a word with him. I said, if I'm okay. Stephen Cochran. Good evening, Frank and fellow Reds. You'll never walk alone. Good evening, Stephen. Evening, Stephen. Leski reckons that the Reds will keep Slot. What does he know? Exactly. And Youssef just tunes in. God, thank God that Samples is over. Yes. FSG Edwards Hughes Slot have ruined what Klopp did in 9 years. They destroyed it in 18 months. As I said before, Stevie, it's like a film script where you go into a massive company who's breaking all kinds of records on Wall Street and all over. And they say, we must stop these fellas. Let's go in and do something. So they went in, brought in a coach who's not worth a carrot, and backroom staff who were all failed managers. What's that telling you? And Youssef, when are we going to have some clarity? This is what we're waiting for. There'll be a review. There'll be a review. And no one's coming out and saying that. There will be a review. But you'll have the financial, Fenway financial experts. And they'll be looking. And what's important to any business is a good workforce and good customers. I hate using that terminology because I remember the NA under FSG calling us customers. But I'm talking about companies. And if your company is failing, and then you look at the nitty-gritty of why it's failing, and then you've got the workers who are struggling, who hate it being there, that's a part of the problem. That's a part of the problem. The workers being hating where they in the work environment. Then you've got the customers who just can go to your company to buy anything. So they say, well, who's at fault here? So they look at the manager and they know like he's a Basil Fawlty type person. And they just say, get rid. And that's what's going to happen with the fans. They don't want to lose the fans. Kept saying that. And the outlaw, extension or not, I want fucking Gapco, Macca sold, gone this summer. I know it won't happen, but I'm fucking fed up. It's not me swearing, Tim. I'm fucking fed up of them now. And Daddy can shape up or fuck off. Hiding on the bench. Lazy shot. And Carl Fritz. Hey, Carl Fritz. I think he might be sacked. Only 1 year left on the contract. Surely they can't leave him in control. He is making us worse with zero connection with the city and fan base. Said it all the time, Carl. It is Carl, isn't it? Yeah. Says it all the time. Been saying it since last season. And Christopher. Hey, Christopher. Hi, Frank. And everyone. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Christopher. Slot has to go. Simple as that. The man's a clown. Stephen. The polo. That Echo paper journal are full of wolves. They hate us. And they will tell you behind your back. Of course. You can imagine talking to someone, say, I'll see the game, fella, yet, and walk away. And they're saying, looking at you, the back of you, and going, scout scumbag. That's what it's like. I like that polo. You know, behind your back, they're the snides. I want Slot out, says little Lynn. Yes. Once Solison and Verge go, it will be all over. That's who I'm afraid of going. The big Verge. You know that he didn't want to play for Slot, didn't you? You could see that a mile off. You could see it a mile off. It's a tasty. Excuse me. And so, Scott, we're going to be left behind. They only got fifth place due to strong performance by the English club. We were lucky. Of course we were lucky. We were in a false place, Toscana. Steve, Frank, Spurs won more points in the last 6 games fighting relegation than Slot did. If this don't worry FSG and our fans, nothing will. Now, it worries a lot of fans, but there's other fans who think everything's all right. Give them another season because that's the Liverpool way. No, it's not. They never give. He finished 2 points better off than Hodgson, put it that way, and he was gone. So we never gave him another chance, did we? Iriola is the last coach standing. Once he's off the market, there is no. Hang on. Once he's off the market, there is no one left anyway. Let's face it, folks. This lucky Dutch loser is staying and bringing in another Eredivisie Del Boy. Says Plunker, another Plunker. As I said before, he's only new to the game. He only got his badge not long ago. And he's coming to the mighty Liverpool. I think that's my grandson. I won't be here, mate. I'll be back. I'll be back. I won't be in a couple of minutes. Please, hang on. As my grandson comes down, because it's our Francine's birthday tomorrow, I want to get her something what she doesn't know about, if you know what I mean. And she's going away as well, so. But I'm buying her something, and I've just given me cards. We're lucky to get 5th place and another 1 or 2 games, and Bournemouth would have caught us. And Stevie says, Frank, Salah's left LFC. The end of the Fab Front 3 is over. You'll never see that again. Never. Anything like that. You'll never see anything like that in any team. In any team. Never. Unbelievable, those 3. When is the fucking review taking place? Or is it more distraction now? They've got to have. It's like a yearly thing with these big business people. That's what they are, the business. And Liverpool is their business. That's where the lol's coming in. That's where the dollar sign's coming in. And they've got to have a review. They've got to look at the statistics of, well, what he's done this season. And it looks abysmal. And they'll know that we've been very lucky. And they can't afford. They know the fan base is against them. They know that he's never taken any accountability. You know what I mean? Not once. He's blamed us, he's blamed players, he's blamed... remember when he blamed low block and it's set pieces? What kind of a fucking idiot is that? And one word is his last breath. I won't watch him. I will not watch him. I don't like his face because he talks a load of crap. And when he said injuries, that was it. Do you ever remember Nat Phillips and what was that? Reece Jones was playing centre back for us. That's what you call injuries. Even Fabinho and Henderson playing centre back. Remember? I fucking remember. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know where I am. And that's with Sir Davy. I think it's in the intro at the start of the podcast. What's that? What's that? Oh, that don't say I've got to go back to Davy. Oh. Anyone in the chat know Frank's email address? I'm a bit thick. Can't see it in the description. Yeah, you will get it. If Jason was in, I'd ask him to put us at the bottom of the screen. Sorry, Dave. And it says in the intro as well. says Edward. Good man. Come on, Edward. Good man, Davy. Yeah, I just seen it. Davy was asking for your email. Yeah. As long as Stammer hasn't got us or Slot. My little granddaughter was funny, the match. Yeah, that's why I had to go back, because the Geordie in it, to a Scouser. Young Canny man, your health is your wealth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Davey. Yeah, he's that's Sophia. She said, has he got a sunbed? She said, who? She said, him, Slot. Because he's always tanned. Has he got a sunbed? You can't make these things up. These are kids who are passionate about the football team. Has he got a sunbed? What I mean? See where the fuck a sunbed myself, to be honest. Can't get out. And the Edward says, I seen a stat that Slot hasn't won a league game in May, this season and last season. No, he hasn't. It's sad, isn't it? That we've got this man in charge. And it's the way it is anyway. So listen, boys and girls, if you want to, let your frustration out in the next 15 minutes, just let me know. And who would you like? As the Anfield Roar said before, there's only one manager available. That's Areola. But I'd like Simeone, Inzaghi, if everything else failed. I'd like them. That's what's off. Take it easy, Frank, till next time, thank you. I'll be doing a podcast on Friday. I think I'm with Fozzie Friday afternoon, but I'll be doing a special conspiracy theory. And Xavier's a big Newcastle fan, says, I think Eddie Howe should come to you, please. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll swap you. You have Arnie. If you think Eddie Howe's bad, Eddie Howe should be doing a lot more for Newcastle United, especially with the players you've got. Especially with the players you've got, Davey. I'm not posing, I'm not honest. Yeah, and we've got one of the worst coaches in modern day football. He's useless. Eddie Howe at least has a Premiership experience. Another Bournemouth fella, isn't he? Bournemouth in the Eredivisie don't go together. You know, for our clubs, that is. And Paul always says to Davey, we don't need a clown as we have Coco Slot. Love it. And the T-shirts, I thought they were going to talk to her and Inzaghi. Yet they're the rumours. I think they put 2 and 2 together, you know, like 1 and 1 is 2. Then they try to add it. 2 and 2, but they come out with a number 5 for some reason, because what they heard was that Inzaghi, which he has done, by the way, has left Saudi. He's a great manager. I like it. I like Simeone Inzaghi. A really good manager. And but who knows what's going on? I'm fed up with it all. Honestly, mate, every single one of us Reds are fed up. Fed up. And mental health issues, it's causing anxiety and stress. People, you know, there's some people who don't realise that. I'm telling you now, I'm talking about people who should know better. As I know. People. And Davey says he's ran his course, Frank. Legend for the last few years. But we are regressing. There's no room for sentiment. Exactly, and this is what some of our fans really need to know. Sentimentality about Slot. Like your team. Regressing, going backwards. Areola hasn't managed a big club, but I'd have him. I'd have Artaraski if they dug him up. Barry, that's better, Frank. You look like a proper godfather now. What with me to listen. And Davey says, I relate to the stress. Newcastle, my life, of course it is. It's like Liverpool, you know, every fan of Newcastle is going through the same. Every fan of Liverpool is going through the same, but with the exception of a few people who don't give a monkeys, as long as just in the comments. I don't know where I am, you know. Got this fucking. I always lose this little, you know, mouse. Oh, there it is. There. We're all going through anxiety and stress. I wasn't going to blame stress or anxiety for me. What happened to me, but I think it has something to do with it, if you know what I mean. The stress factor. But you're right there, Davey. And the Vader. I'd take Frank Spencer over Slot. Oh, Betty. And Barry. No comb in your hair. It's not that. It's not that. I think he's good, see. I think he's good, Emery. I think he's very good. I think he's proved it. I really do. So, yeah. I'd have him. Really would. And when people, they say about Enrique, because he sat in the cup and he was Louis Garcia's mate, and he sat in the cup, got him a couple of tickets, and he sat there. He'll come to us. So, yeah, say, Emery. He's got a terrible first name, Unai Emery. And Paul Owen to the sea. Our owners will probably get Unai. Oh, fuck. Dick Emery. He was in a scene with Sidney James. He was Dick Emery, Sidney James, and Sylvia Sims. The funniest scene I've ever seen in my entire life. About bank robbers who went to jail, come out because they had the money, the stash inside the tree. Them trees that got older, but he had the money there. And after 10 years of serving time, they find out the tree is in the middle of the grounds of a police station, a big brand new police station. And they get this flat at the top facing the police station. And they're trying to go, the ideas of getting over there. And Sid James says, I've got an idea. We'll get a harpoon. No, oh, shit, oh, shit, that looks good. That's Dick Emery to it, Sid James. Also, Sid James he was always a Sid, wasn't he, in the film? And anyway, they're going to let go of it, I'm talking about a big harpoon gun. And Sylvia Sims is playing Sid James's girlfriend. And she's the dumb blonde in it. And she's looking, she said, hey, what's that? He said, it's an harpoon. It's an harpoon. For killing whales and things like that. She said, ooh. She said, and she's looking, the point. Fucking point's a massive thing like that. And she said, where'd you put the worm? Pointing at the end, the point of it, where'd you put the worm? I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a mad film. Brilliant. Thanks for making me laugh. I love that. I love that, Dick Emery. Most probably we get Dick Emery. And the Vader says, absolutely, Stevie, Arsenal bore me. and Slot wants to copy his style. Next season, with a new set-piece coach, there's Uma. Hello, Uma. Hope you're well. Hello, Frank. Nice to meet you again. Tomorrow is Eid, our Islamic holiday, which is the festival of sacrifice. Yeah, it's there's so many things, isn't it, in the Islamic faith? You know, like Ramadan and things like that, where you have to fast. I think some Americans, I think they eat too much fast food. Oh, you want to see the size of them? And Uma says, I'd Mubarak to you, my friends. I'd Mubarak to you as well, Uma. Thank you. Looking forward to the Titanic vlog. Always fascinates me. What I'll do, I can't do it again. No, I will do it again. What I'll do, I'll give you a warning that, and you'll be able to record it yourself. Jason will sort like how to record it. See what I mean? So you'll have it then. It's a fascinating thing. So look out for me. I'm going back to history as well next week. Back to my old history. You know, about Liverpool, not the club, the city, the national history and international history. So it'll be a formula of everything. But Liverpool, sometimes, well, most of the time, the focal point. I'll give you an example. The starting of the American Civil War was a cannon fire from a big gun, Telford gun. And that was the start of the Civil War. And I guess where it was made? Here in Liverpool. And it was put on a ship at the pierhead to go to America. So that was, and the red line drawn under the American Civil War was with the SS Alabama when it sailed up the Mersey. And the captain and the crew walked up Water Street to the town hall and surrendered himself, his ship, and his crew to the mayor of Liverpool. So that was the red line. You know, there's loads of things like that. So that'll be my history. And then when there's breaking news about Slot going and they're bringing in Dick Emery, that'll be breaking news. The only thing that will lift my mood is if they sack Baldy ASAP. ASAP. I'm telling you now, they can't afford another season and more money unless they sell the fucking team. And who are they going to bring in? Unknown, like Bowen. Come on. 30 years of age, Bowen. It's just wonders for West Ham, isn't he? And Barry says, the thing is, once you choose a coach, stroke manager, you're pretty much stuck with him. With players, there's a multi-choice to swap about. No, you just get rid of the manager. We know that he's worse than Ten Hag. And Man United fans have said that. You need to get rid of him before you go like us. She's over here. Paul Owen, you are not. Used to say that to me, but I love you. Dick Emery, brilliant. Yeah. Ooh, you are awful, but I like. Absolutely. Classic, isn't it? Advice, boys, get on YouTube and get Russ Abbott and the lie detector. It's the funniest thing. It's only a little thing I've seen. It's so funny. You know, a little sketch from one of his shows. The lie detector. Please watch it. I watched it about 5 times, and the 5th time I'm still laughing. It's the actions. Just watch it. Plays a detective. Because they won't get the lie detector on. You know, switch it on. You know, switch it on. Oh, shoot. And as Dennis is the, the president, the suspect sitting there. Please watch it. Please. I'd love you. So funny. Anuba says the big news is spreading that Areola has been contacted with AC Milan for next season. If we lose him, there will be no other good options. What are your thoughts? It'll be very, very sad. At least it's only a contact rather than, get over here and sign for us. Because AC want to make a comeback, which they should because they're one of the top of Italy sides. But we don't want to regress like them, unfortunately. We're Liverpool. I think I did it wrong again, Dad. I think it's funny, honestly. But please watch it. If there's anything, if you just want to have a laugh, just look at that. And that mad Tommy Cooper. Little snippets of them. Cooper. And she says, loves Sid's laugh. He has one of those, what you call pervy laughs, isn't it? And Dermot Nolan, would that be yourself I'm talking to, Dermot? This summer, all joking aside, it is huge. We messed up last summer with too many changes. Now we need another 4 to 5 in the door. How will they gel pre-season with a World Cup? Nail on the head. You've got to ask yourself as well, Dermot, why did they break up? A formula that won the league with the Klopp side. And they just broke it up. Thinking that these 4 or 5 new players that we brought in was going to dominate the Premiership in Europe for years to come. So where's the blame? There's the blame there. And it's on him. Slot, Hughes and Edwards. But you're right, Dermot. No time to gel. And Slot was left with a team that gelled the previous season. So as far as I'm concerned, the big failure are not the players. I'm telling you now, is the coach. He can't motivate them. He can't play them in the right positions. He can't do anything. And what did he blame? Injuries. In his last press conference. And before he's blamed everyone. Everyone is blamed. And he's not once blamed himself. He's never taken any accountability. That's not what you call. That's what shall I say, respect. Thanks, Frank, says you, mate. Pleasure. Dermot, yes, mate. Next season, a write-off. The only saving grace is the Premier League is crap. Is Diamandi? They're supposed to be after him. They're supposed to be after him. And to be after him, if you look at every pod, I don't come out who are after, you see, because every other pod is after everyone. We've been linked with. I tell you what I got fed up with, and I said, I'm not doing any of this, was the Shoemani. The Shoemani. Alleged transfer to us. And I was talking to this great friend of mine, and he said, do you know anything about this Cherokee? I said, no. No money to be spent. And do you ever remember Fekir? FSG, again. They said to them, Klopp, no, the money is in the summer for that goalkeeper you want, Allison. But there was no money for Fekir. And they told a lie. They spun the lie. They spun it brilliantly, and people believed it, that he had a big hole in his knee. The lad didn't. He plays every game till the end of the season. They played the full season the following season. Frank, how many languages do you speak? I know you know English and Italian. Don't ask me. English is hard enough. I think everybody should, I'm not saying should, but, did you know little bits of languages? Bonjour, monsieur, and all this. you know. So it's good morning, good evening, and whatever. And you know that. And even asking the Germans sprachen sie English. When I was lecturing about the Second World War, I always came out uh, what Hitler said, because the propaganda here was always, high on the agenda, which you didn't mind because he was a Nazi. And, calling him a little Schickelgruber and whatever, a little corporal, you know. But little did they know that Hitler, they offered him, this is in the First World War, by the way, they offered him an office, and he said, no, I don't want to be an officer. I want to be with these lads in the trenches. And people don't know that. And he was nearly killed. And Davy, a fella from Newcastle, oh no, it wasn't. It was a fella from Coventry who saved his life. Both of them were in the same crater. And Hitler was bleeding out. And this other fellow was wounded, but he had in his knapsack, or whatever they're called, a medical bag. And he stopped the blood and whatever. And in 1934, I forget the lad's name, unfortunately, he was sent for by Hitler himself. And he was awarded a medal. Like a Medal of Valor for saving the life of this man called Hitler. That was in 1930. This is like when Hitler was Chancellor. Not many people know that, but you know now. Yeah, so, a little bit of German. Everybody must say, oh, yeah, I used to do a quote. And what it was, with all this propaganda going on at the H. And he stood up on the podium, all these people, and all the people knew. They all had bits of paper, sheets of paper, saying what they were saying about the Führer, Hitler. So they're all reading it, calling us with everything. And he said, and here's the quote, Ich bin nicht eine Ausländer. Ich bin Deutsch, unquote. And that means I'm not a foreigner. I'm a German. Ich bin nicht Ausländer. Ich bin Deutsch. And people thought, oh, he speaks German. I don't. And TW, if Areola goes to Milan, we still have the Emery brothers tick. And Unis. You're drinking director of football, Dick Emery, yeah. I go along with that. I'm going to finish soon, boys. It was brilliant. He's a funny. You brightened me little evening up. I'm so dry, so thirsty. So don't forget, try and join me on Friday. I think I'm with Fozzie as well in the afternoon, but I've got my own show. And if some breaking news comes out about football, I'll put a notification up that I'll be on. And then you can have your say again. And Uma says, is Diamandi will be the next seller? Or will Diamandi be the next seller? As we know, we can't replace him, but who will play in that position? What are your best options? Please suggest your names. Well, Diamandi's one of them. I tell you who I'd love, and I wanted them 2 years ago. This fella. And it's Kvaratskhelia, played for Napoli. Brilliant. And for 2 years then, while he was playing, I said, I hope Liverpool get this fella. I hope Liverpool get this fella. The following season, I said, oh, but this fella, this Kvaratskhelia, I hope they get him. Let's get him. And then the end of the season, he was up for grabs and we could have had him for 58 million. And who stepped in and got them? Got him. PSG. See what I mean? So he was being my choice. But this Diamandi, whether he's worth 100 million, I don't know. He's only very young. And he hasn't been in the Premiership. Just like Arne Slot. I think Ernie can adopt our style. Oh, can't adopt our style. Areola can. But he plays something like us. Areola does play like us, It's hard now, to be honest, Umar. Really. Frank, with the season ending, can you do a movie and TV show? Yeah, I will, promise you. Brilliant. There's some great films, Has anybody seen it? You get it on YouTube. Ryan Gosling in the Hail Mary project. Oh, but look at that. It's a brand new film. It's on YouTube. Don't think anyone's going to Pix anymore. And the Vader, look, as I said, I've got a mate, and he hasn't been in touch to say, Frank, I'm sorry, it's not happening. That's all that I'm going on. I'm growing a beard, look. Do you think I'd suit it? Hang on. Can you see? No, I'll get a shave. Very irritable underneath here. So we live in hope. We don't only live in hope, but there's too many people against Slot, and I'm talking too many of them for the custodians, FSG, to ignore. Because I reckon they'll sell soon. And they don't want to come in with they don't want to come in, Judy, with, new owners with discontentment throughout the fan base. They all want a calm and everybody happy again. They want a happy ship to sell. The way the economic situation's going on, globally I'm talking about. They could lose a lot of money with Liverpool if they don't sell. And say to the humour, I think Emery would improve our style, side-to-side football, and pass back to the goalkeeper crap. Yep. He would, because that's what we're doing, aren't we, now? And Carlyle, lol, a Dick Emery reference. This FSG BS is bad pantomime theatre and reality TV. It's not that hard to make a decision. Just stand on it. Brilliant. And Carlyle, Tommy Cooper, just like that. The owners made Klopp's legacy disappear, just like that. Ah, yeah. I seen a sketch of him. I don't know when I seen it. I don't know when I seen it today or what. And it's from one of his shows, and he's a karate expert. And there's bricks on this thing, this little bench table, and he comes in, all like that. The way he walks now, and he picks up the 2 bricks and he clicks them together, and he goes click, puts the bricks down, caught his finger, the brick, just stupidity. Can't get anything like that today, can you? Visual comedy, funny. But please watch Russ Abbott, The Lie Detector. Just get it on YouTube. Just type it in. Guarantee that you'll be laughing your heads off. And Uma to the tea. Let's see what happens. If slot continues till January, I think Anfield will have empty seats, or there are banners everywhere. Yes, slot out. Hashtag slot out. Good shows, but let's see if he's here next season. Let's see what happens. And Davey, enjoy tonight. Laughter is the best remedy. Gangani, everyone, says our mate from Newcastle. Davey. Cheers, Davey, mate. Thank you. Away the lads, eh? Away the lads. And he says, Uma, we will have to wait and see what happens exactly. I'm going to finish on here, boys and girls. I have to. And Uma says, please, Luis Enrique, please come here and save our club. See how desperate it is. See what about mental health, and people don't realise. It's horrible. Stress, anxiety. Let's see. Night, Frank and chat. Great to have you back, Frank. Thank you. It's good to be back. Just let's hope that I'll be okay for Friday. That's all. Thanks, Frank, for taking questions. No, thank you, Uma, for joining us. These are good lads and girls on here. And Bob Paddock, hopeless summer. Never know. Never know. Mightn't buy anyone yet. Not with FSG. Good actor, Gosling. He is, Vader. Ryan Gosling. I've seen like excerpts of him in real life, like on chat shows and everything. It's funny. He just laughs. sit there and go, what the fuck are these? You know, when someone's giving it that, saying, I've made 1,000,000 pictures and I'm great and all the fans love me. And he's just sitting there looking at them going, fucking hell. Can you play the clarinet, Frank? Just thinking about the Beatles. I always remember Ken Dodd. When Ackerbill, and you know, Stranger on the Shore. Hey, when that came out, big #1 hit. And Ken Dodd was, you know, doing his normal routine. And he says, I'm going to change my name to Knacker Nilk and do a tune called Stranger on the Kazi. Stranger on the Kazi. What a missed man. And the little copite. Isn't that great? My granddaughter's a little copite as well. So I like that. Yes, Frank, lad. Hope you're good. Thank you. Thank you, little copite. Okay, that's him. But he calls him Knacker Nilk. Knacker Nilk. Stranger on the Kazi. You know, the cast iron show. And Steve, Russ Abbott on Mastermind is smarter. That's seen that one as well. Russ Abbott was one of the best comedians ever. It's just his face. And Les Dennis was a great stooge to him. And Uma says, Frank, what's your emotions after seeing Sally? Yes, very. I was in tears. Very emotional. I was even emotional, like when you see his little girls, you know, running up to the cop and kicking the ball in the net. And all of that. You know what I mean? Very emotional. But emotional fans, very emotional. Uma. Us Liverpool fans. Night, Frank. Good to have you back, mate. Thank you, Vader. Good to see you as well. And Uma. Good night, Frank. We will meet again soon. Thank you, Uma. Stay safe, mate, wherever you are. I know where you are, but still stay safe over there. And David Gould. This season might look like a stellar season by the end of next season, Frank. Do you know what? I think that's a cracker, that. I've got to admit. This season might look like a stellar season by the end of next season. It's a cracker. And then a little turnaround. Like that. Like clever little things. Like, someone said about Unai Emery coming here. One of the lads says, yeah. And his brother Dick. Oh, his brother Dick. Fucking funny, that was funny. And buddy. See you Friday, Frank. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my lovely Toscana. Buonanotte, Franco. And chatters. Bought it. Oh, go away. I'm so happy. But I'll be happier if the egg man gets the sack. Thank you for tonight. Oh, made up for you. And your lad. Made up for you. You know, you're going to be happy. I'm sure of that, Tusk. Oh, lovely. And on that wonderful note, I'm going to finish, boys. Just a massive thank you. And why Klopp comes to Anfield? Yeah, everyone thought that he was coming. He didn't. He didn't. Don't forget that Klopp is he's still in touch with his players. His players, believe me. I've got to go, people. Basildon Bond. Russ Abbott. My name's Bond. Basildon Bond. Oh, come on, I've got to go. I'll see you Friday. Thank you so much for keeping me company and making me laugh and making everybody else laugh, which we needed. Thank you so much, people. Love to every single one of you. Buonanotte to our wonderful Italian ladies. Ci vediamo. See you soon. Ciao. And if they were German, I'd be saying Freitag. It's horrible. Not horrible. Freitag. Schweins. Freitag. So anyway, I don't know why I've done that. I'm sorry. I'll see. Oh dear, I can't even laugh. Oh, look at this. Come on. Give me a break. I'm waiting for the price that comes out. I'm paying to, like. Okay, Frank. No more questions. Time to say goodbye. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, Uma. Thank you. And as the lovely Italians say, grazie mille. And I'm going to finish on this. I like that. Good night. Up the Reds with a big heart. Absolutely. Good night, everyone. See you Friday. Hopefully. Ciao. Ciao.